Hi friends, welcome to our channel Knowledge Factory UPSC. As we are dealing with NCERT text series, this is lecture number 2 and today we are going to deal with second chapter of class 6, that is globes, latitudes and longitudes. In this chapter we mainly focus on the globe, its longitude, latitude and other main features which are described in the globe itself. Okay. So in the first picture of the globe in this chapter suggests a picture of a globe. Let's check that picture. The word globe is derived from Latin word globus, which means sphere. Globes having a long history. The most globes are maps of the earth. They have advantage of avoiding the distortions of the flat projections. As we know, the globe is a projection or the exact model of the earth, but the map, how the map look like, it's a piece of paper which is a flattened, which placed on flattened surface, isn't it? It's difficult to describe the location of a point on a sphere like earth. Globe is a true model of the earth in a miniature form. We will notice that the needle of the earth which connects an axis with the globe, and this is known as axis. 2 points which the needle passes are 2 poles on the globe, which are of North Pole and the South Pole. The globe can move around its needle from west to east. So note the point, the earth rotates from west to east. The real earth has no such needle. It's just a representation that the globe is. So did our real earth have this needle type axis? No, earth have its own axis, but it does not have the needle type axis. As we know, this is an imaginary line. Okay, so let's look into another point, that is equator. So what is an equator? Imaginary line which is running on the globe, which divides the earth into 2 equal parts, which is known as equator. All the parallel circles from the equator up to the poles are called as parallels of latitudes. Latitudes are measured in degree. Okay. Equator represents 0 degree latitude. Okay. Equator represent 0 degree latitudes. The distance from the equator to either of the poles is 1/4 of the circle around the earth. It will be measured in 1/4 of 360 degree, that is 90 degree north of latitudes and 90 degree south of latitudes. When we look into the picture of figure 2.2, we can find several lines which were on the globe. They are known as latitudes, and at the top position there is 0 degree, that is North Pole. As like that, there is on the southern side there is a point which is also of 90 degree south, which is Southern Pole. Okay. Equator represents 0 degree latitude, since the distance from the equator to either the poles is 1/4 of the circle, as I said earlier, that 1/4 of 360 degree, that is 90 degree. So on the top portion there is North Pole of 90 degree north, and the south portion there is 90 degree south, which is South Pole. Then the important parallels of latitudes. This is very important topic, and several questions in UPSC and other PSC exams, they were related to these degrees. So clearly focus on this picture. On this picture we can find an imaginary line which is drawn between this circle, and this is known as equator, which is of 0 degree, and just above the 0 degree there is 23.5 degree north, which is Tropic of Cancer, and above that there is 62.5 degree north, that is Arctic Circle, and above there is North Pole. As I said earlier, the North Pole is 90 degree north. Okay, and below this equator there is Tropic of Capricorn, which is of 23.5 degree south, and below this Tropic of Capricorn there is Antarctic Circle, which is of 66.5 degree south, and at last there is South Pole, which is of 90 degree south. Okay, so some important parallels of latitudes. Besides equator of 0 degree north, there is north in 90 degree north there is North Pole, or 90 degree south there is South Pole, and there is Tropic of Cancer in 23.5 degree north in the northern hemisphere, and the Tropic of Capricorn on 23.5 degree south in southern hemisphere. There is Arctic Circle at 66.5 degree north in equator, and Antarctic Circle at 66.5 degrees south of equator. Okay. Next we are moving to next topic, that is heat zones of the earth. The midday sun is exactly overhead least once a year on all latitudes in between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. So note the point that the midday sun is exactly overhead at least once a year on all latitudes in between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. This area therefore receives a maximum amount of heat, and it is known as torrid zone. So in the left side of the picture there we can find a picture that is on figure 2.4. There is a torch which light falls into the paper which is on perpendicularly. So as written, there is the torchlight falling on the straight surface is bright and covers small area. Like that, if the rays of the sun falls into the earth in the direct manner, we receive more heat and bright light. Okay. The midday sun never shines overhead on any latitudes beyond the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. The angle of the sun's rays goes decreasing towards the poles, such as the areas bounded by the Tropic of Cancer in Arctic Circle and the northern hemisphere, and the Tropic of Capricorn, there is Antarctic Circle in the southern hemisphere, have the moderate temperature, and therefore this is known as temperate zone. Okay, do you understand that? We can simply understand by this picture that if we consider this torchlight as sun and that paper is our earth, and on the top side of the paper we can find that there is a low amount of sunrays that is falling on the top side, and this top side we can represent there is a North Pole, and there is lesser amount of sunlight and lesser amount of heat, so there receives low heat and low light. So the northern hemisphere remains a cool area. Okay. The torchlight falling on the slanted surface is less bright and it covers bigger area. Okay. Next zone is frigid zone. Let's look what are the important features of the frigid zone. The areas lying in between Arctic Circle and the Arctic Circle in the North Pole in the northern hemisphere and Antarctic Circle and the Southern Pole in the southern hemisphere are very cold. It's because there the sun does not rise much above the horizon. Therefore, its rays are always slanting and it provides less heat, and therefore it is known as frigid zone. The frigid, as the word suggests, the fridge or the frigid zone, which means as very cold areas. Okay. So we covers what are latitudes. We are moving to next topic, that is longitudes. Okay. So let's look what are longitudes. Let's observe this picture clearly. We can find some lines which were vertically fall from northern hemisphere to the southern hemisphere. There are about 25 zones in these lines, between these lines, and these were known as longitudes. Let's look into the text and let's find what is written on it. Now, in order to find out how far from east or the west are the places from the given lines with reference to running from North Pole to the South Pole, these lines reference to are called as meridians of longitudes. Okay, so the longitudes are what are the main features of longitude? The longitudes and latitudes are mainly used for finding the exact location of the places, and the degrees between them are measured in the degrees of longitudes. Each degree is further divided into minutes and the minutes into seconds. They are semicircles, and the distance between them decrease, and the Stanley pole towards the poles it becomes 0, and where all the meridians meet. That means here there are several lines which were drawn vertically from northern pole to southern pole. So when we look at the distance between these lines, which goes decreasingly towards at the top of the pole, and from that at the top of the northern pole we can find that all these points are meeting at a single point where all these longitudes meet together. Okay. So let's move to the next section. Unlike the parallels of the latitudes, all meridians of equal length, and thus it's very difficult to number the meridians. Hence, all the countries decided that the count should be begin from the meridian which passed through the Greenwich. There is Greenwich line which we have to be noted, where the British Royal Observatory is located. This meridian is called as prime meridian. Its value is 0 degree longitude, and from it we count 180 degree eastwards as well as 180 degree westwards. The prime meridian divides earth into equal two halves, and the eastern hemisphere and the western hemisphere. Therefore, we can find the longitudes of a place is followed by letter E and letter W. The E represent eastern side and the W represent western side. When we look into the picture, we can find the 0 degree which is noted is known as the prime meridian, and on the left side we can find that there is 30 degree and 60 degree which is followed by letter W, which is known as 30 degree west, 60 degree west, like that. And the eastern side of the prime meridian, there is the eastern side which is followed by 30 degree east, 60 degree west, east. Likewise, it divides earth into two equal halves of 180 degree. Okay, it's very simple topic. And below that we can find the grid lines. Okay, these grid lines are mainly used for finding the exact location of the place by denoting the letters such as east and west. In this picture we can find the location of the each point very exactly and correctly. Okay, next we are going to the next important topic, that is longitude and the time. Let's see what is written on this Ncert. The best meaning of measuring time is by the movement of the earth, the moon and the planets. The sun regularly rises and sets every day, and it's naturally and it is the best timekeeper throughout the world. Local time can be reckoned by the shadow cast by the sun, and which is shortest at noon and longest at sunrise. When the prime meridian of the Greenwich has the sunlight at the highest point of the sky, all these places along these meridians will have midday or the noon. As the earth rotates from west to east, those places of the east of Greenwich will be headed by the Greenwich time, and those of the west will be behind it. Okay, so as the earth rotates from west to east, those places east of Greenwich will be ahead of the Greenwich time, and those to the west will be behind it. We can come across a simple example which makes you clear about this time. That is, when we look in this map, we can find the exact location of the location of India. There is written as plus 5.5, which means from the Greenwich line of the 0 degree. There we can find the Greenwich line which is passing through England. There is a Royal British Library which is located, and it is a 0 degree. Okay, so from Greenwich line, India is ahead 5.5 degree hours increasing. Okay, so if in Greenwich there is 12 p.m, in India there will be 5.5 p.m. Okay, so this markings were that means plus 2, plus 3, plus 3.5 degree, plus 4.5, plus 5. In India we have there is 5.5. This represent the exact increasing time. Okay, so when we look into the left hand side of the Greenwich line, we can find that there is -1, -3, -2, etc., which means that the time is decreasing in left hand side. Okay, so the time is decreasing in left hand side, and in eastern side the time is increasing. Okay, is that clear? So as we says that as the earth rotates from west to east, those places east to the Greenwich will be ahead of the Greenwich time and those to the west will be behind it. Okay, it's very simple concept. And the earth rotates in 360 degree in about 24 hours, which means that 15 degree which means that 15 degree an hour in 1 degree in 4 minutes. Okay, that means 15 degree in 1 hour and 1 degree in 4 minutes. So keep this in the mind that the earth rotates in 360 degree about 24 hours, which means that 15 degree in 1 hour and 1 degree in 4 minutes. Okay, is that clear? Thus, when it is 12 noon at the Greenwich time, the time at 15 degree of the Greenwich time will be 15 into 4. Okay, as I say 15 degree will covers 1 hour. So when there is 12 noon in the Greenwich time, the time in 15 degree east of the Greenwich line will be 15 into 4, that is 60 minutes. Okay, that means 60 minutes means 1 hour. It's very simple concept, just read that. Then why do we have standard time? So why did India have standard time? Before looking look into it, I have to say a simple concept, that is just note that 24 hour means 1440 minutes. Okay, 1440 minutes. 24 hour means 1440 minutes. That means in this 1440 minutes, that means in this 1440 minutes, earth rotates 360 degree, that means 1 day. Okay, so how to find the how to find the minute of this 1 degree? We can divide this 1440 divided by 360 minutes, that is 4 minutes. So in 1 degree earth rotates, so in 4 minutes earth rotates 1 degree. Okay, this 1 degree is equal to 111 kilometers. That is also very important concept. So if there is 12 noon, if there is 12 noon in 0 degree, what is the time of 15 degree? We says that 15 degree, how to the distance between, or the time gap between 0 degree to 15 degree is 60 minutes, that means 1 hour. So if it is 12 noon in 0 degree, in 15 degree there is 1 p.m. Okay, so it's very simple topic. So we can go to the next topic, that is why do we have a standard time? Okay, the local time of the places which are on different meridians are bound to be different. For example, it will be difficult to prepare a timetable for the trains which cross through the several longitudes in India. In India, for example, there will be the difference about 1 hour and 45 minutes in the local time of Dhaka in Gujarat to Dibrugarh in Assam. So from the difference between the eastern side, that means in the western side, in the left side there is Gujarat, and at the eastern side there is Assam. So the difference between the time difference between this Gujarat and Assam is about 1 hour and 45 minutes. So it's necessary to have an standard time for India to make the things very much simple, or to make the timetables of the time schedules of the programs, time schedules of the trains, flights, etc. It's very important. So it's necessary to have a standard time in India. So just look into that picture. In Assam, in Gujarat there is 68 degree east, and in Arunachal Pradesh, in the nearest to Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, that is on the northeastern side, there is 97 degree east. So there will be time difference between Gujarat and Assam, Gujarat and Arunachal Pradesh. So it's necessary to keep a standard time in India. So between the exact center of the India, there we can draw an imaginary line which is passing through Mirzapur, Allahabad or Uttar Pradesh, that region, that is about 82.5 degree east. So the time of 82.5 degree east on that place, that means in Mirzapur, Allahabad or UP area, Uttar Pradesh area, is considered as standard time in India, and it is known as Indian Standard Time, or it is represented by IST. Okay, so did you get that concept of Indian Standard Time? Between the exact center of the India, there is an imaginary line which is passing, or an imaginary longitude which is passing in between India, in the areas of Mirzapur, Allahabad or Uttar Pradesh region, and which is about 82.5 degree east, and it is considered as Indian Standard Time. Okay. Next important topic, that important point is India located east of Greenwich at 82.5 degree or 82 and 30 degree east is 5 hours and 30 minutes ahead of GMT or global meridian time. So it will be 7:30 p.m. in India when it is 2 p.m. noon in London. Okay. Some countries have the greater longitudinal extent, so they have adopted more than one standard time. For example, Russia, there are many as 11 standard times. So some countries there are more than one standard time. For example, Russia there is 11 standard times, and the Earth has been divided into 24 time zones. An important point is that just note that the Earth has divided into 24 time zones of 1 hour each, and each zone thus covers 15 degree of longitude. Okay, so it is very simple chapter, but it is very useful and very important. It's a basis of our geography, so make thorough this chapter. I hope you enjoyed my lecture. If you like my video, just like this, share it to your friends and subscribe my channel. Thank you.